Well, Rob Howden has just stepped away, recovering. He's having a sip of Don't Sleep energy just to get his spirits back up for the next race. It's Mini Swift now, the next stage up in the karting ladder. These young drivers, this is Mini Swift by TKG Kart Republic. It's going to be a Bennick. Well, let's have a look. Look, Bennick on the front row of the grid, the number 133 kart of Royce Vega. Now, that was a little bit of a... We've got a different grid in front of us, so we're just going to go visually on what we're looking at there. There is the number 133 kart of Royce Vega. This class has all been about the two Bennick teammates, Vega and Troy Ferguson, and then there's Ferguson in the number 143 kart, and then the number 139, the Motaz Sport kart of Max Christia, Romanian born, now based in Atlanta. He was racing in the Transylvanian Trophy. Now there's another event that I advise anyone to go to. Michael McGoy, the Ryan Perry Motorsport kart, the only driver here out of Park City, Utah. He will be going from the front 5 rows of the grid. There's the number 3 of Travis Pettit, the Trinity karting group. But look at that number 115 kart behind him. Have you ever seen a more attractive Ayrton Senna livery tribute kart than Noah Bagling? Anyone that has watched racing, you see that black and gold and the crash helmet colours, and it gives you those goosebumps inside you, doesn't it?
You can't help but like the Senna game right there as you look at the number 195 on track 2. There's so many different liveries, and whether it be the helmets or the karts, it's really cool to see people get into the spirit here and go all in Vegas.
Yeah, it's the last race of the year, right? You've run all season long, you get the special livery, maybe you get a helmet done up right. I love it. And again, we're getting set to get this going. Again, this has been such a great morning so far. Again, we are 4 down. 5 races still to come. We're just into the afternoon session here right now. Where are we? Temp 70 degrees, blue skies, little bit of a breeze. This is ideal conditions for Super Sunday.
Best Christmas day I've ever had. I'm getting sunburned up here. That didn't happen normally. The number 101 car. So, Lucas Palacio, you guys could talk more about him, the season that he's had, and now he's got one shot to make SuperNats anything other than an abject failure.
He's been essentially one of the dominant drivers throughout the season. Not won every race, but he's won a lot of them, on a couple of championships already, but it just seems like they were having some engine or carburation issues. We'll see whether or not Lucas's kart comes alive here on Sunday.
They were talking about, having engine issues, carb issues, as you say, work quicker in warm-up. That could be a little bit of a spark, maybe a little shot in the arm they need to go forward.
He is starting deeper in the field in 18th position, but we've seen drivers come from deep and do well. Cameron Marcia here as well, ready to roll off. Let's have a look at the grid as we get set to go here, Henry. And again, based on all the work up front, so impressive. We'll look at the drivers in the Mini Swift category. We'll get that grid for us here momentarily. Do we have it here somewhere?
We've got a grid, but I'm looking at the names in the order on the piece of paper that I've got does not correspond with the pictures that I'm getting on the screen there. There's the number 127 car. We'll get the full grid. And again, the Kart Chaser team and Alpha Live in the UK, they've worked some wonders to bring you the full graphics kit with the team logos. Here we go then. Here is your official starting lineup.
All Bennick front row. Royce Vega alongside Troy Ferguson, P1 and P2. Max Christia and Michael McGoy, last year's winner, on the outside of row number 2.
Travis Pettit and Tristan Chrisan on row number 3. Impressive from Chrisan. He's got a new mechanic this weekend. They've never met before here. Noah Bagling, the Italian champion from Cambridge in the UK, on the inside of row number 4, alongside Marco Samut.
Going back to the end of the top 10, the Super 2 driver Ashton Woon starting in 9th alongside Marco Romero. Alessandro Truchot will roll off from 11th alongside Luke Tal.
Luke Tal from the Netherlands, and Tristan Murphy and Lucas Palacio will go from row number 7. McLaren Carroll on the CRG. Cameron Marshall round out the top 8 rows.
We'll have a look at the top 20. Matthew Cagle inside of row 9 alongside Ruben Gutierrez and Ania Pezzuto in the TKG kart, and then it'll be Mateo Calderon on the outside of row number 20. One of the father-son programs running here is both Mateo and his father Carlos running here this weekend as well.
Jackson Porter and Antonio Pizzonia Nieto, the son of former Formula 1 driver Antonio Pizzonia, who we'll see later on row 11. Valentino Santillon and Martin Yaramilo on row number 12.
Gabriel Balog for Magic Kart USA will be on the inside of row number 13 alongside the Canadian Olivier Chasse, while Rocco Simoni and Luca Popescu will fill up row number 14.
Canada's Edward Kennedy goes off the inside of row number 15 alongside Didier Krieft. Then it's Daniel Ramirez and Branislav Renka on the Croc Promotions card. Let's see if that can show some teeth here today.
Remengus Samsic alongside Declan Dianarine, and then it'll be Cole Medeiros and Julian Sanchez. That's row 17 and row 18.
Sorry, Dukowski and Santiago Diaz de la Vega on row number 19. The top 40, Luis Nunez and Luke Giglio.
Again, one of the categories here in the Mini Swift class that did not have multiple groups, so everybody making it to the Super Sunday main event. Here's your last couple of drivers. William Kim, Braden Wagner, row 21. Nicholas Katowski alongside Jack Speth on row 22. Jose Halfin and Pearson Gulseth on row 23. And Jensen Michelke and Fionn Shi to wrap things up. 24 rows, 48 drivers. We'll see if each one of those presents themselves to the main event. But again, another 20 lapper here for you as we're into the second half of the main event.
I think Michelke and Fionn Shi have had to withdraw from the race meeting. Fionn Shi crashed in the first heat. I hope that Fionn, the Melbourne-born but now USA-based driver, is feeling better. I think he may have tweaked a wrist.
Oh, ouch. That is not good against a track like this at a temporary circuit. You want to make sure you're 100%.
Yep.
But again, many drivers working their way up here. I'll tell you, Bennett and the Royce Vega, Troy Ferguson combination have been tremendous out of the gate. Big days on Wednesday and Thursday. Of course, Friday and Saturday, situation Saturday, they were right in the fight there as well. And to do it all, they've locked out the front row. Again, Travis Pettit, Michael Mulgoy. Pettit coming off a Summer Nationals win in the category at Newcastle Motorsports Park. McGoy's just been out front all year long and is the defending race winner in the Mini Swift class as well. So, again, all these guys up front know how to win races, and this is the big one that they want to get to cap off the 2023 season.
We've seen teammates and teammates. Rollis Performance Group in Master.
True.
We've seen the two Sodi USA drivers in Micro. Now we've got the two Bennett drivers. Are we going to see synergy, or is chaos going to reign supreme in the classroom?
Based on what we've seen, Henry, right, in the heat races, it's definitely been synergy. They've been working together and have looked good together. And again, they're kind of eyeing each other coming up to the start. Field into position. We're about set to go racing here with the drivers in Mini Swift and looking for that green. It is out. Green flag racing. Green, green, green. Down into turn number 1. And the inside move for the 133 of Royce Vega. Are they able to get together clean? Good so far throughout the entire tail of the field. 1 is clean. 2 is clean as well. Over to 3 and 4.
The two Bennetts at the moment are in P1 and 2, and there's the Kart Republic chassis up into P3 of Christia. I think that is everybody filing through single file about through the top 15 as they snake their way through 5 and 6, and now the descent down towards turn number 9. Watch the bumps, but it's one of the Bennetts in the lead clearly.
Mike, everybody in the grandstands, of course, holding their collective breath. They breathe the sigh of relief, and away we go racing. Pretty good start.
Yeah, hat tip mini drivers, huh? We just made it through that thing, and I don't see a single yellow flag. There's the knock on the woods. Let's make sure we keep things rolling, and it is looking sharp up front.
Bennett 1-2. We wondered if that would happen. Indeed it does, and there they are coming down, but maybe not for long. Here comes Michael McGoy. He's going to throw it to the bottom. The outside is that 143 of Troy Ferguson. Indeed, he's going to slot back another spot. Good move for McGoy to get in there, but everybody fighting early. And again, you know, Mike, talk about the opening laps. You know, sometimes you say, hey, just settle in a bit. A lot of guys want to settle in the top 4. Like, if I can make a move early in the first couple laps, knowing we'll be able to stretch away a bit, you want to be in that lead group. Who have we been talking about in all the races? Top 3, top 4, right? Yeah. You've got to get in that lead group.
Yeah, exactly. The first thing on the agenda is to making sure you get through the first corner. Once you get past there, survive the first lap, and then things start to settle down. You can figure out, okay, this is what I've got in front of me. You can see the racing a little bit further back, but again, up front, we got a line front of stern, about 8 carts.
A little bit of a breakaway, about 7/10 of a second. Royce Vega, your leader. Michael McGoy into second. Christia in third. Baglin up to 4th. 3-position improvement for Baglin in the opening lap as McGoy goes to the inside. He'll take the lead here from Royce Vega. So move last year's winner, Michael McGoy, into P1 outside the top 4. Ely Tristan Crescent 5th. Travis Pettit goes back to 6th. Troy Ferguson in 7th, Alessandro Truchot 8th, Tristan Murphy 9th, Marco Samet rounding out the top 10. You scroll down to Lucas Palacio. He lost 3 spots on the opening circuit. He is in 17th position, the Pro Tour champion. Has got to get moving.
And this is incredible because for the last 3 days in the Mini Swift class, all we've seen is Vega, we've seen Ferguson and Christia duking it out for the lead. Now, when all the marbles are on the line, you've got McGoy and you've got Baglin, who qualified 18th, don't forget, running up at the front there. McGoy leads. It's the first time that we've seen newcomers at the front of the field. There's Cagle on the outside with a bright green NASA panel on his kart. Side by side, wheel to wheel, going into turn number 1. Baglin to the inside, put the British driver in the Spirit of Senna livery up into P3.
I think that's the highest we've seen Baglin all week long. Now up to 3rd and rolling. Let's see how far the 1:15 can go.
Again, we always kind of temper our enthusiasm because you never know who went where on tire pressure. Hey, if you want to lead lap number 3, almost anybody can do it. Crank them tires up. You're going to have more grip than anybody else, especially if you're anywhere near the front. But you've got to have the long run pace. We talk a lot about long run pace because in any of the Pro Tour races, the same thing. We're talking 20 laps. These are long distance races, Mike. You got to pace yourself. You don't want to overcook things, but you got to know that the tire pressures are going to be coming up later in the race.
I'll tell you what, the tire pressure is looking pretty good on the Troy Ferguson machine. It's back-to-back purple laps. He fell back. Remember, started on the front row, has been going backwards now, trying to kick it back up. How about another spot for the 43?
Wow.
Yeah, that Bennett kart is on rails at the moment. He goes past Baglin up to P3. Now, I've got to say, though, Baglin and Ferguson and the rest, they have got to ignore the running order on the left-hand side of your screen. It's not Royce Vega who is leading, it's Michael McGoy who's leading, so the order on the ticker at the moment I think has frozen a couple of laps ago. We're running lap number 5 now, not lap number 2, so please ignore the ticker on the left hand side of the screen. It's McGoy, Vega, Ferguson, Baglin, Christia, Petit, Chrisan, Murphy, Marco Romero and Marco Samut, your top 10, and 2, 4, 6 all in the slipstream.
Ferguson makes the pass in turn number 1, still goes purple, and he's going to bridge the gap to the top 2. He had a 51.6 last time, almost 3/4 second faster.
Feels like he kind of let the first couple laps happen, right? He kind of got shoveled on the outside, got steamrolled a little bit. Guys were rolling on through, but just took a deep breath, set things back down, and went to work. Now he finds himself back into P3 as McGoy has gone back to the lead again. McGoy, though, has Royce Vega pushing on him. Ferguson right there in 3rd. 5, maybe 6, let's go to 6 kart breakaway. We'll give Max Christia a little bit of extra love back there in the 6th position, but Travis Pettit right in there as well. 6 drivers in the lead group. Then you go back 1 second. We got a couple of moves. Baglin starting to get aggressive. He was there, I think maybe even into 2nd for Baglin. No, not quite. A little further back. It's McGoy, but he did make a move. Not sure whether it sticked on the exit of the corner. It did, indeed.
It did. He just about made it stick. Well, as his idol Senna says, if you no longer go for a gap when you see when you're no longer a racing driver, Baglin saw the gap. He said, that looks like it's just about the width of a Mini Swift. I'll fill it. And he did. And now here's a move for the race lead. Up to the inside. Ferguson takes the top spot. Baglin trying to follow him through. They're 3 wide coming into turn number 4. They're all going to squeeze round. McGoy on the inside. Baglin back to the outside. New leader. It's Troy Ferguson.
I was just going to say, is it all of a sudden lap number 15? I didn't realize we were dropping the hammer right now. It's lap number 6, and these guys are going at it still. I will say this, because I'm keeping a little side eye on him here right now. Lucas Palacio up into the 11th position.
Okay.
He went down to 17th. He's 11th. He's quite a ways back right now. He's 6.5 seconds back. But the way these guys are racing, he would be able to work his way forward.
Exactly that. These guys are like, why race with 6? We could race with 8 or 10 or 20. Let's get them all on the show.
Come on, let's come out to the party.
Yeah.
Well, Palacio's up to 10th, but the top 9 drivers are all together. Then there's a 5-second gap back to Palacio. If they carry on battling and Palacio can stay ahead of the remaining runners, there's a chance. There's a chance. We've still got 12 laps to go. I mean, yeah, the gloves are off early doors here in Mini Swift. But I mean, so far, I've got to say, and I want to touch wood, don't want to put the curse of the commentator on anyone. It's been very clean and respectful, even though it's maybe not doing their chances in the long run any favors.
That's just it right now. We're talking lap number 7. They're really going at it. Their lap times are well down. Here's another move to the inside. Baglin for the first time. We'll put that machine up front. So move Noah Baglin to P1 right now. He's the best we've seen him run all weekend long. You see the move to the inside there as well for the number 3 machine. A Pettit, he's looking to the inside. He's He's got right behind him, I believe Christie Murphy's in there, Chrisan's in there as well. But these guys are racing hard. That's like what? Well, I want to say the top 9 drivers all coming across the line, Mike, within 1.4 seconds.
Yeah, and Mike McGoy just makes it around. He goes twofer, and we're seeing this a lot in turn number 1. The cadets especially go way deep when they go to make the move, and the over-under has been very, very, very big for the driver in third, fourth, or further back. So now you've got McGoy making that thing happen. The rest of these guys need to keep things tidy.
Again, just throwing this out there. We got top 9 drivers who are battling it out. Last time by, Lucas Palacio was over a second faster. It was 6.4, it's 4.7. Palacio's coming to the tail of the group, and we're not to the halfway point. There's Palacio right there coming onto the straightaway behind this group. He's got a couple of guys coming with him here as well, Marco Samet and Alessandro Truchot. Those 2 drivers right with him, and I think they realize they know what they've got. They've got a guy that'll push them all the way forward. The racing up front could get interesting because right now, Lucas Palacio, more of what we saw earlier this year. He is on a move right now.
When Palacio made the move for 10th position, he was 7 seconds behind the race leader. 2 laps later, he's 4.5 seconds behind the race leader. Now we've got 550-odd drivers here this weekend. There's 1 driver on the DAP chassis. That driver, Noah Baglin, because that's the chassis that his hero Senna raced back in Kart. It's part of the OTK family now, but the DAP is doing very, very well at the front. But I mean, it's again, Bennick 1, then it is McGoy 2nd, then you've got Baglin, and then that second Bennick in 4th place, rather.
Yeah, we're just going back and forth right now. Everybody kind of taking their opportunity up front. First, of course, it was Vega. Then McGoy got up there. Baglin spent some time there. There's a hip check move by McGoy getting into the side of Ferguson down into turn number 1. That moves Baglin back up into 2nd. We continue to look at the gaps, though, back to Lucas Palacio, who is closing 4.6 seconds last time by. They keep racing up front. And I'll tell you, if you race like that, Palacio's going to get here. We're going to keep an eye on Palacio trying to come forward. The Bennick driver's getting shuffled back in, but there's a move for Pettit. He works his way in there as well. The Bennick driver's now back, I think, 3rd and 5th.
Well, and also just to add to it, because Palacio's not alone, he's also got Alessandro Truchot and Marco Samet, so it could be a 12-kart fight, especially with all this continuing.
Exactly that. They're doing themselves no favors. Look how much closer they are. We'll see at the line. It was 4-point-something last time by 3.3. Another full second, and we just got past the halfway point. 9 laps still to go. Lead drivers breaking out a bit. We got a top 4 breakaway, then the next 5. Although I'll tell you, Lucas Palacios bringing them all up. He's ready to join the tail of this fight.
Palacio is in this fight. Baglin retakes the lead. Palacio, Truchot and Samut. Do not count them out. We've got a lead group of 9 at the moment. There's another move for the lead. Oh, that's risky. That's the tightest point. They're 3 wide coming out of turn number 6, and still, somehow, they keep it completely clean.
One of the Bennicks able to go around the outside. One's coming down the bottom right now as well. I'll tell you, these guys are going at it big time here. Look at this 3 wide. They are not thinking at all about trying to pull away, and I just can't believe somebody doesn't settle everybody back down across the line. Vega leads. McGoy 2nd. Christia, Baglin, Romero, Murphy, Pettit, Ferguson, Cresson, Palacio, less than 2 seconds back. He'll lose a spot right now coming into the corner as Truchot goes by him, but they are essentially at the tail of the field. They have caught back up. It was 6.7 seconds about 4 laps ago. Palacio, Samet, and Truchot to the tail of this grid. 12 drivers in the lead pack.
There is not a single person that has something to do with this group that has hair left. They've pulled it all out at this point. This is incredible. 12 drivers for the win.
And again, lap 12. We're going to put lap 13 in the books this time by, so 7 to go. Long way to go. Everybody already running that defensive line. So to me is the 3 drivers that just got there. You mentioned when you get there, make the move. So how quickly do Palacio, Truchot, and Samet start really working their way forward?
They have to do it now. They have to. They've got the extra pace. They're in a rhythm. The front drivers, the front group again, there's no rhythm there because they're defending, they're chopping and changing. So Palacio's got to try and maintain that rhythm and bring Truchot and the rest. Palacio's already up to 9th. Pettit is 8th. Ferguson 7th. Chris Army have not mentioned really. He's there in 6th. Romero's up into 5th position. Baglin's still 3rd. But I mean, yeah, this is incredible racing here, and I don't know why SKUSA bothered to put any seats in the grandstand, because not one person's sitting down.
That's exactly that. Palacio's got to the tail of his teammate Travis Pettit, so we'll see whether that first move comes. We keep getting this cover move down the bottom into turn number 9 that just kind of destroys your straightaway speed. Michael McGoy going to go on the outside as they work their way past start finish.
And he beats Vega to the line by 40 thousandths of a second. Keep that in mind when we get to the final lap. You go big defense versus big offense, it's going to lose out.
Big run around the outside again, and here comes the guys through here. The Kart Republics are lining up. That is Castilla, Pettit, and Palacio. All those drivers on the Kart Republics trying to insert themselves in the fight. Back down to the bottom goes Noah Baglin. Put the Senna machine back out front once again. That DAP chassis, we've seen that a little bit this year with Joe Turney and Stephen Miller earlier in the season running that DAP. But again, right now the DAP back out front. This is a battle royale in Mini and everything we would have expected. There are years we've got some snoozers. We're not getting one this year. Back to back. Every race has been fantastic. Everybody lining up. Here comes a move to the inside once again as they'll get themselves through. That is Castilla right there as well as he's going through, I believe, with Croissant.
Yeah, and I think it was Romero also losing maybe a couple of spots right there. That's the one they were passing. Now down the straightaway. It's like a Talladega Daytona down to this thing. Everybody's bump, drafting, shoving, but they're doing a pretty good job down at turn number 1.
Palacio now up into the 7th position. P7, maybe even 6 right now for Palacio. He is working his way forward. The engine wasn't running. The carburation there was issues. But the racecraft for Palacio we have seen over the last couple of years. He is a young driver in Mini. He's only 9 years of age, I think, for Mini even. So he's got a couple more years in this category. I believe he'll probably go to Europe next year. But this kid is on a roll right now.
We could end up probably talking about a body of work. You could look it up in the dictionary and see Palacio right there at the end of this thing. All week we haven't really talked about him, and now when it counts, he's in the conversation again.
Now I'm looking back at the very tail end of this league group. Troy Ferguson, who was such a contender early on, he's now dropped back to 10th or 11th. Here comes the number 101 of Lucas Palacio as we run lap number 17. Palacio, He's done an excellent job. His rivals we're taking this as Christmas Day. They have given him a big present because they've given him an opportunity to compete for the victory here.
He's got to get by Romero right now because of 3-driver battle. They're going to put lap number 17 down when they come back around. 3 laps remaining. He needs to get by Romero right now so he could be there to potentially close and challenge when they start the battle. Right now it's Noah Baglin, Michael McGoy, and Royce Vega. That's the front 3. They've built themselves a little bit of a gap, and we'll give you the exact gap. You can see them coming across the line. Look for a move coming from Palacio now because the gap between 3rd and 4th is now over a second. So again, Baglin and McGoy both turning their biggest laps. Palacio with a look over the shoulder. I expect him to make the move down the bottom as they work their way. Indeed, he does. He'll tuck down to the bottom of the racetrack. A little further back there, he's through. Baglin's still the leader, but book it. Here comes Palacio. He goes to P4. 3 laps to go.
How about Michael McGoy hanging out there in P2? And now for the last couple laps has not fought, has just pushed, and it's going his way. He has now pushed up Baglin. Those 2 drivers, fastest laps for them. They went green. We've seen this before from McGoy. You talk about knowing how to win these kind of races. All the racing that happened, and now it's starting to go his way.
So yellow flag flying in turn number 9. We have an incident on the exit. You know they're going to do the best they can to try to clean this up. No passing down right now into turn number 9. They'll hopefully have it when they come back around. It'll be 2 to go when they get here. We got a couple drivers off the racetrack on the outside of 9, but this is it. 2 laps remaining. Again, watching to see whether or not Palacio could get in there, but Mike, you're bang on. Michael McGoy is not letting anybody else back into the fight because he's just staying right there. He's not doing it. He's running really smart. That is crucial.
Man, I think we saw this from him last year where he was in that front back and then just stayed smart. This is perfect. It just has gone his way where he had the opportunity to actually be patient. He has no pressure. There's not going to be a third-party program if he waits long enough. But if you wait too long, the defense might get you back.
I think it was Jose Halfen, the driver, who was running down towards the back of the pack, who's gone into the barriers there. We've still got 44 karts running. It's been an incredible race so far. Now, Baglin has to defend the inside. McGoy, he's He's been feeling him out, and now he's going to start working the rear bumper of that Spirit of Senna kart. Well, Noah Baglin, the white flag's in the air. You better summon the spirit of your hero if you want to win in Vegas.
Here comes the driver in P2, Michael McGoy. He'll go wide. Baglin going to run him out a little bit. Over under for McGoy, not quite there, but can he keep it happening? He gets a run out of turn number 2. He'll have to throw it down the bottom. McGoy looking over the shoulder. He'll cover down the bottom of the racetrack. Here goes McGoy again, trying the other over under, and as well, here comes Royce Vega as well. Palacio not that far back either. You know the defense is coming. They're just going to run out of time. Baglin's right there, but I'll tell you, Royce Vega not done it all yet. Do we get the over under or not? Baglin looking to the bottom of the racetrack. Who's going to go to the very, very bottom? Here comes a potential over under. They'll tuck to the bottom. Here we go. I think Baglin may have it. No, but I think it could be Royce Vega across the line. Here they come, and the winner across the line, checkered flag, Royce Vega wins. Vega wins in mini over Michael McGoy, Noah Baglin, Max Christia, and Lucas Palacio won an over-under.
I swear we just saw that same thing.
Oh, that's amazing.
My word.
Waited. They all went down to the bottom. He went way to the outside. Over, under, perfectly timed, and used all of the track on the exit to maximize the amount of pace that he had. What a finish. Noah Baglin thought he may have had it. Michael McGoy did everything he did. He was patient to the very, very end, Henry, but not quite enough because they stacked him up just enough for Royce Vega.
Baglin had to defend. He had to defend. Yep. He had to defend deep. And he went a little bit deep and just ran out and just kissed the barrier on exit.
Wow.
I have not seen a race like that in many a long year.
So let's look at that one more time as we'll have it here coming through turn number 7 and 8 to turn number 9.
Talked about it earlier in the race. This exact same move happened. I said, watch out, last lap, turn 9, and there it is. Absolutely done to perfection. Those two drivers, Baglin just carried it too much. He's got a hand in the air, but that was kind of him. It was perfectly done. How about that for Vega? Textbook.
Huge run for Royce Vega. Again, seeing that all happen. Those drivers kind of pulling away from him a little bit. McGoy holding on for second. Baglin third. Max Christia made a dive bomb move to the inside on Lucas Palacio to steal 4. So Christia in the 4th spot. Palacio still up, as we said, up 9. He was nowhere to be found in any of the heat races. Whatever they were able to do to dial that thing back in, he was impressive to watch coming forward. Palacio up into 5th. Again, this is provisional. We've seen some changes in the heats based on pushback bumpers, based on video review. That is your current provisional top 5 podium. Cresson 6th, Ferguson 7th, Truchot 8th, Pettit 9th, and Marco Romero rounding out the top 10.
Someone at Kart Chaser is going to go back and review that race. You're going to see a social media post later on, I am sure, listing just how many lead changes we saw in that race. And I've got to say, you know, when there are pushback bumpers, we didn't see anything. We didn't see anything that was untoward. That was elbows out, gunslinging for 20 laps. And there was at least a dozen lead changes. There was almost a dozen race leaders.
You were talking about that. I mean, yes, exactly. They were racing so hard. I mean, Rob talked about it in the early part where literally you had to look down and go, what lap is this? We're going for it already. It was inside the first 5 laps. It was just rolling nonstop the entire time. As you said, 20 laps, elbows out, gunslinging, and it was awesome.
And you're looking there, I mean, there's hardly a scratch on any of those karts. This is karting at its finest. This is why we love this sport. From 3rd to 1st on the last corner. I mean, it's just outstanding. Again, these are the drivers that are how old, Mike? 9, 10, 11, still in elementary school. Oh, and the emotion, the highs, the lows, they don't really know. There's Noah Baglin sitting down. That's Royce Vega alongside him, discussing it, talking through the race there. And I think that a shrug of the shoulder from Noah Baglin. I've got to say that Noah had a message from a certain Rubens Barrichello, who is also Ayrton Senna's hero, saying he hope he does well, and he really, really did.
Well, we've got the results official, and the kid sitting there in the white, blue, and orange Bennett suit is officially your SuperNats champion, Royce Vega. It's confirmed, has won the Mini-Swift main event. Michael McGoy, Baglin, Christia, Palacio, the final top 5 here as it is coming through.
Not a single pushback.
Yep, and it looks like David might be ready with a little bit of a interview time here.
I'll send it to you.
All right, Royce. That was an amazing finish. Just talk us through that last lap, and who do you want to thank?
My mom, my dad, Hacienda, my grandparents, everyone. Yeah,
That was such an exciting finish. What was it like for you, the driver?
not much. It's hard to say right now, but
Well, you don't have to say much. The emotion's in your face. Congratulations. You are a SuperNats champion.
And you can well forgive Royce Vega for being a little bit speechless. I've got to say, if it wasn't our job to speak, we'd be speechless up here in the commentary box as well. And just there's the moment. It sinks in. Deep breath. What have I just achieved? And take a deep breath. And again, that's why we love this sport. That's why karting is so good at its finest. There is no form of racing that brings out the emotions like karting.
That was such a phenomenal race, and seeing we're talking about how much racing was going on, and extremely clean.
Yep.
We had 12 plus all there, 3, 4 wide, and they're coming all out every time. It was phenomenal.
And there's something. The only two classes you've had so far where the top 5 have finished on track have been the top 5 that go onto the podium, the youngest kids, the micros and the minis. That says an awful lot about the way that those young men and women conduct themselves on and off the circuit. And it's going to be a very emotional podium, I think, there as you watch the 5 of them, Vega, McGoy, Baglin, Cristia, Palacio, making their way over. What a comeback for Lucas Palacio. There's Michael McGoy who finishes, and I'm just looking down there. It was 0.35 of a second covered the top 3. 0.35, 0.3 of a second. Incredible. But I can see the drivers are ready, and very shortly we'll be able to hand over to our Master of Ceremonies for the podium, Mr. Rob Howden.
P5 from outside top 10, able to work his way forward. Not quite enough, but Palacio coming back after a rough job for him to go into the 5th position. Excellent job for Lucas. Finishing in 4th spot, number 139, a last lap pass for Max. Cristia ends up 4th spot. Excellent drive for Max. Driver led for a time, did a tremendous job working his way forward. Coming home 3rd, number 115, Noah Baglin. P3 for Noah Baglin today. Excellent run for him as well. Finishing in the 2nd spot. Got a couple of good years here running in the category. 2nd spot, Michael McGoy, number 1. Michael right there all race long. Down for under, though, in the final circuit. An incredible drive and a great pass for this young man who's now a race winner here at the SuperNats. Put your hands together for the mini Swift victor, Royce Vega! He was right there at the right time, the over-under, and saw what was happening up front, that battle that was occurring up front there. He was scrapping away, digging down, kept pushing. You never know what's going to happen at the end. They went full defense, both McGoy and Baglin, down into turn number 9. It opened up for a huge over-under for Royce Vega, and he timed it perfectly, executed it perfectly, and did everything he needed to do. So that was this drive for Royce Vega. Again, provisionally your race winner here in SuperNationals 26 in this mini Swift category. And man, always exciting to see these mini drivers put on a show. This track is racing so well right now. That is 5 straight races where the battles have been unbelievable. Race-long fights, and we could not ask for much more. Again, perfect weather here today, 71 degrees trackside, nothing but blue sky, and the racing has get things up most definitely. Drivers wrapping things up here down on victory lane. Once again, shout out and congratulations to Royce Vega, the winner. Michael Magoy second. Noah Baglin, Max Christia, and Lucas Palacio rounding out the podium in mini swift.